the Soviet quest, but the island ain't weak, not less. She-hawk tanks roaring loud and clear, zombie hula girls, no fear. Tiki terrors rise, eyes ablaze, Soviets drown in the island haze. Island don't surf, island don't win, Tiki terrors won't let them in. She-hawk tanks make the ground shake, zombie hula girls' hearts won't break. Under moonlight chants they clash, steel meets flame, bones will thrash. Cold War's heat, the island's grip, Tiki rage will never slip. Drums beat, wild waves take hold, Soviet shiver, hearts turn cold. In the depths of night they fail, Tiki terror's ancient tale. Island don't surf, island don't win, Tiki terrors won't let them in. She-hawk tanks make the ground shake, zombie hula girls' hearts won't break. Island don't surf, island don't win, Tiki terrors won't let them in. She-hawk tanks make the ground shake, zombie hula girls' hearts won't break.
Howdy, howdy, it's your old pal, Tiki the Hut. Thanks for joining me again on another Too Late Tonight with Tiki, and man, is it too late. I am hours late to giving you guys the updates on Konflikt 47, unfortunately. I was not at Adepticon. I have failed miserably. I was not there. So all the information I got was secondhand, but luckily enough, there's enough people who do like Tiki Time who are there to give me all the inside scoop. Even quickly becoming notorious for having a photograph that wasn't supposed to be a photograph that I widely disseminated. So, you know, there's that. That's fun. But hey guys, welcome to Too Late Tonight with Tiki. You're exactly right. We are absolutely going to talk about some Konflikt 47, and to celebrate Konflikt 47, we are going to build a Coyote Walker. So in these kits, these are the Allied Walkers. So it's the Allied Light Walker, right? Here, let me slice that open real quick so you don't get that glare. There we go. There you go. Now you guys don't get a glare. So this is the Allied Walker, and it can make either the Coyote or the Guardian Light Walker. I haven't done the Coyote short yet, but I have done the Guardian short. And you know what? The Guardian short is when you actually add the infantry flamethrower to one of the hands. So that's what the British use. All right. Chat's going wild. Chat's going wild. Let me check out what's going on in the chat. All right. Wait, we have mini Tiki Terrors running around. So no, there's only alright, 3 things for me. I will stand by to see those things, Rabbit, no worries. Alright, so no, there is only one of me. I did ask a friend of mine that I met at Warfire Minis to you know, give me the scuttlebutt on what's going on at Konflikt 47, and he did. It's my friend Newt or Chris, and he technically, I think per him, was the first guy to actually play the demo game. He was the first guy there in the morning, first in line to play the demo game. So the first thing I will tell you, and I swear to all that is holy, I didn't plan this. But if you guys look at the episode number, this is Too Late Tonight with Tiki, episode number what? 47. I swear as shit I didn't plan that. It just naturally rolled out the way, which is phenomenal. So Rabbit, when it comes to intel, one thing I will tell you is compartmentalization is key. I will read to you guys off all the information I know, but I have posted all the intel I have in Morning Glory's Discord and his Bolt Action channel. I will definitely talk about number 2. I will talk about how I'm being lured into 4th edition. But that does come with a little bit of sadness. Some veterans of the channel will know that I had a old world army that I was building for a little while. And it was an Empire army. I'm actually sending that to a better home. I'm just making hobby space because I only have so many hobby games going on. Rabbit, I know you want your narratives. As you can tell, nobody saw this drop of Konflikt 47 coming. I mean, obviously Warlord Games did, and you know, they don't tell me shit. So I didn't know it was coming. So unfortunately, Bad Rabbit, the narratives will be postponed for a while. Same thing. The battle report for the Malta games, I'm going to try and get those out, but those are all. Everything's going to take a back seat to putting out the Konflikt 47 lore videos. Right now, a lot of people are interested in it, so I'm going to try and do my part. Not for me, because again, I'm not monetized, so I'm just going to do my part to try and help generate interest in Konflikt 47, you know, strike while the iron's hot, and get out a lot of those lore videos. So that's going to take my precedent, Rabbit. First up. Hey, Jeff's like, this is our information, not his. No, I will definitely read you off the information. And also, if you check the YouTube channel, I got you, HS. If you check the my YouTube channel, one of my posts, because I posted a lot, actually. I did multiple posts during the day. One of my posts on the YouTube channel has all the official information from Warlord Games. Now, I'll give you some scuttlebutt here in the streams, because that's kind of how I help you guys out. You guys hop in and join the streams. I give you some of the juicy intel. The official stuff is already posted on the channel. Yeah, Bad Rabbit, I saw that model. I was even showing it to Mrs. Tiki. And yeah, that was an instant impulse buy. For those guys who don't know, someone's trying to get me into Warhammer 40k again. I'm not going full bore into it. It'll probably be small, but they want me to play older 40k. So I want me to play like 4th edition. So I was talking to them, and they brought up the good point of like, hey, you know, you're not very good at painting. I was like, ah, fuck, that's true. Like, would you like kit bashing? I was like, I love kit bashing. Like, well, if you like kit bashing and you like post-apocalyptic stuff, I was like, yeah, I love Fallout. They're like, what about Mad Max? Like, yeah, I love Mad Max. Like, you play Gaslands? Like, yeah, I play Gaslands. I was like, why haven't you built an orc army? And I was like, damn. I had no retort. I was like, oh, I guess I'm building orcs. Hey, what's going on, Matthew? Alright, so I opened up the, I will talk to you guys and give you Konflikt 47 updates while I unpack this. So like I said, first thing we're doing tonight is we're building a, allied, Coyote Walker. Alright. So I will show you guys something cool. So the first thing I will tell you, I don't think it's part of their official line, but I do have this secondhand. And again, everything I tell you, rumor-wise, everything I tell you is subject to change, right? Subject to change. So one of the first things I confirmed, because I know is important to a lot of people, this is the emblem right here, the little Da Vinci man, but it's a goblin. That's Clockwork Goblin, right? This is Warlord Games. So this is a resin model. When you see this is likely going to be some of the older metal and resin models. One of the first things we confirmed is the resin and metal models are going to plastic, and there will be new releases of new models in plastic. Konflikt 47, again, subject to change. Konflikt 47 is going into plastic. Now, that is going to be huge. One unit that's huge for, as far as plastic models, I can tell you right now, that is going to be massive for your Imperial Japanese exosuits. Because those are super customizable on whether you want to take you know, an SMG or compression cannon and a katana, or whether you want to take a SMG and grenade launcher, or whether you want to take the Panzer Shriek. All right. And as always, we always thank them. Thank you, Becky. I appreciate it. I don't know if you guys have a Becky in your deck yet. I always try and collect all the names of the people who send stuff. Decals, if you use them. I don't, but there are decals. All right, the stream is going quick. The stream is going fast. I'm trying to catch up. Put together a Hago. It wasn't fun. Was that the resin model or a plastic one? Because I don't think it was. I'm trying to remember. It wasn't that bad if it was the resin one. Matthew. I need to get a new pin vise. So that's the one thing I haven't heard about HS. That's what I was curious about, and I got no intel on. There's no updated information about the lore, but they keep saying this isn't the battle, this is the end, or they keep saying it's not the war, it's the end. So I think this is like end times that we're coming up on. So oh no, I told RK, I told him that the gate opens. I was just messing around. Alright, so there's our base. Some people like to base their walkers. If you guys saw, I put up pictures of the Locust Walker I made. I did base that one, but only because of I only based that one because he was so heavy, so I had to like counterbalance him with like a tactical rock, you know. I did forget my cup. I will have to get a cup with some water. I like to use dish detergent and soak my metal and resin miniatures. You know, just get off all the stuff. Ooh man, this has been through some stuff. You can see one heavy machine gun, one spotlight. Looks like my other machine gun broke, sadly. That's alright. And I also got a hand flamer, which we probably aren't going to use. But I know what I'm going to use this on my my metal Rocketeer models coming in for my Firefly Jump Infantry, because they can take a flamethrower. So that's exactly what I'm doing with that bit. Glad I got that. Alright, let me catch up on the chat, then I'll just away, grab my cup of dishwater. Then I'll be right back. Let's see what we got here. No, I think it'll be different than Trench Crusade, but that's the other big thing I hear about is they are absolutely leaning more into hero units. I think maybe for better, maybe for worse. These are going to be fictional heroes. They're not going to be real life heroes. No real life person is going to be referenced. But there are going to be a lot more hero units. So if you know how Paragon support squads work, I think it's going to be very much like that. And I'll go more into depth about that. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Matthew. I'm about to order a box myself. I'm about to order a box of those Working Atlantic Zombies. I'm so excited. I did say spoiler alert, Rabbit ahead of time, but I didn't really spoil anything. SG-1's not bad. I think it's good, but I think SG-1 is not as good as Stargate Atlantis. Stargate Atlantis, I think, is probably one of the best Stargates, other than the movie. Alright guys, so my medium machine gun broke off, but you guys know what that means. It's time to use the tactical toothpick and make it a machine gun barrel. Yeah, HS, and I'm not mad about it. At first I was a little weird about the whole hero thing, but I think that's what they're leaning to. I think they're leaning to a lot more towards like those commando style comics. You know, a lot more like Sergeant Fury and Italian Commandos, Sergeant Rock. You know, I think they're going more that route. They're going much more pulpy, and I love pulp, so I'm pretty excited about that. All right, I'll be right back. Alright, don't mind me and my product placement there. This panel has no sponsors and is not sponsored by a rum company, but I actually do drink the rum. It's not bad. Alright. Let's see what we got going on here. So I'm not sure if you guys do this. This may just be like an old wives' tale for me, but I like to put warm clean water and a little bit of dish soap, like dish detergent. And I do it with both resin and metal. I think you're only supposed to do it with one of them, but I do both. And all I do is I just kind of move it back and forth, just kind of agitate it a little bit. It depends which empire you're talking about. If you're talking about the old world model, I'm actually sending my old world empire, my pirate / sailor based army. I'm sending that away to a good home to make room for, you know, additional hobby space. I always gotta do that. Every year around springtime, I always try and condense down my hobbies in case I gotta add one in. Let's see what else is going on. Oh, flow agent. Okay, that's more advanced than what I do. I just paint straight from the pot. Yeah, so that's where I got it from. Rabbit, I got it from reloading and working with lead, especially like back in the day. We used to get it from wheel weights and working with like shot, you know, and because I'd melt down the wheel weights, separate the lead from the zinc and all the other bullshit stuff. Then I put the lead into ingots, and I'd keep the ingots. And then when I needed to reload my shot shells, because I stopped reloading pistol rounds a long time ago. During COVID, I kind of sold off all my reloading supplies for pistols, but I kept my shotgun presses. And so when I load 12 gauge and 20 gauge, usually number 4 buck, I melt down the ingots. Going to a farm upstate. It's not that big. It's only like a 1,000 points. It was just some spearmen, some archers, and a lot of free company or free state militia, whatever the hell they're called. Some cannons and stuff like that. They're all kit bashed, which is kind of cool. But yeah, honestly, I like the idea of old world. I'll just probably never play it. I have so many games I play, I have to like really kind of compartmentalize and decide what I'm gonna do. So. All right, let's take a look at some of the Tiki or some of the conflict information I have. Alright, so I'm going to read to you guys verbatim the information that was given to me by my friend who played the first demo game of the new Konflikt 47. He was first in line. Biggest thing is everything is subject to change. Again, all credit goes to my buddy Newt. So everything is subject to change. So if you guys are ready. He said, so shocker, Konflikt is awesome. Basically, every unit comes with a rift dice. The platoon commanders and special heroes come with more. The rift die is how you activate your special ability. For example, the Firefly troops can move 12 inches and then spin their rift die and try and move away. The rift die is then put to the side until the end of the round. And at the end of the round, before the start of your next turn, you roll all of your rift dice you spent, and if you land on a certain symbol of the dice, they get refunded back to you. If you fail the roll, it's just gone and the unit cannot do its special thing anymore. The rift die are 6-sided dice with special symbols on it. It's like a 33% chance it'll get refunded. Your platoon commanders come with 1 through 3 rift dice based on veterancy, and as of right now, the platoon commanders fall under certain categories. So like a veteran rifle platoon commander has rift dice, and his rift dice are used to increase a single die roll by 1 for hits or wounds. But a, say, reconnaissance platoon commander only gets 2 rift dice. His thing would be spin a die and you auto pass a morale for a morale test for a unit. So that right there, explaining how the rift dice work. That comes directly from my buddy. That's a direct quote from him. Everything is subject to change. So this is the kind of stuff you can't get from the direct Warlord Games email. So if there's a Warlord Games spy, you know, he now knows that we know. So I still don't think Warlord Games knows I exist, and I prefer to keep it that way, but that's some of the hush-hush rumor. I wanted to make sure I front-loaded that and gave it to you guys early on in the, I'm going to give it to you guys early on in the stream. That way I'm not like, kind of like, oh, hey, let me tell you this critical information, but first, you know, let me, you know, waste your time or put in an ad or anything like that. I want to make sure I give you guys all the critical information up front. That way, if you're able to hang around for the chat, for the stream, that's awesome. If not, at least you got your information, you know? So if you're curious on how it's working, it's almost like the rift dice are going to be like a special pool of dice, and every unit, every commander of certain platoons have certain special abilities. And that rift die goes to that ability. Same thing with units. When you have special rift tech units, like he said, so the picture of the battlefield had Firefly infantry. It had like a Pershing tank. It had a Walker I haven't seen before with like a Tesla cannon on top. It wasn't a Grizzly. I know what a Grizzly looks like, and there are Grizzlies with Tesla guns in the art, but not in current Konflikt 47. But it wasn't that. It almost looked more like a mud skipper with a top-mounted Tesla gun. Anyways, it also had Firefly infantry, and the Firefly infantry apparently gonna have the special ability where they can jump in, attack, and then jump away. Really cool. However, to do that special ability, they're gonna have to burn a, we'll call it burn a rift die. So they'll burn their rift die to see if they can roll, see if they can get, or they'll burn their rift die and they'll put it down next to the unit, just like they'll put right next to their order dice, right? So you have their order dice and they put down their rift die because they use their special rule. And at the end of the game, when you're collecting up your order die, you also collect up your rift die, your rift tech die, and you roll it. And if you get that certain symbol, like I said, there's going to be like a 33% chance you get to keep that rift die. It goes back to the unit, which means they can do their special move again. If you don't, that rift die is burned, and that unit can no longer use its special ability. So that's cool. That means when you bring a unit, you're going to get a chance for it to use its special ability. And if you're lucky, you may get to keep it. Make it into that special ability once or twice. That sounds really cool. And officers come with multiple rift dice. And depending on what that officer's role is how many rift dice they come with and what they can use it for to affect their troops. So like I said, a commander of a rifle platoon is going to have different amount of dice and different abilities than the commander of an armored platoon or a walk. I don't know if there's walker platoons, I'm assuming, but an armored platoon or a reconnaissance platoon. All right, I will let the chat continue on with its metallurgy, yeah, conversation. Metallurgy. I guess I was looking for metallurgy. All right. So, what are the questions y'all have about Konflikt 47? I have some information. Also, in case you guys didn't know, if y'all have X or Twitter, and actually, hold on, let me see if I can put a link to it real quick. Give me a second here, guys, because I'm working on something, and it's a way for you guys to give direct feedback to Warlord Games. I know, it sounds crazy, but hear me out. Okay. Alright, that link should work. Alright, so what that link is, that's a link to my Twitter or X. Again, maybe you have Twitter or X, maybe you don't. This channel's not political. It's the only other social media other than Reddit, Facebook, and YouTube. So this YouTube channel is tied to a Facebook account, a Reddit account, and a Twitter account. Anywho, and those all came in handy because that's where I got a lot of my information for about Konflikt 47. As you guys can tell, I got a lot of the information as it was dropping, right? So with that, that Twitter post or that X post is very important. And the reason being is you don't have to follow me on Twitter or anything weird like that. As you guys know, I'm not about the numbers. But what's important about that tweet is that it has a poll on it. So that tweet is directly tagged to Warlord Games. So they see everything in that tweet. They've seen this tweet, right? The poll is running for 7 days. Now, in that poll, it has questions like, hey, what are you most excited about in the new Konflikt 47? It has like hero units, the Rift dice, new models or units, or plastic models and units. So the whole point is I kind of want to give feedback to Warlord Games is what are people excited about, more than just people they caught at Adepticon. Because don't get me wrong, cool people go to Adepticon, but not everyone gets the chance to, you know, either work, scheduling, what have you. Not everyone can make it to Adepticon. People who go to Adepticon are hype. I'm going to be honest, nothing against it, but the people who take the time to go to Adepticon, yeah, Rabbit, I'll catch you, I promise. So the people who go to Adepticon are going to be hyped about anything because it's a convention for tabletop wargaming, so they're going to be super excited about all that stuff, right? So this poll is for people who weren't able to make it to Adepticon, so to kind of show them with the general Konflikt 47 audience what they're most looking forward to. All right, Rabbit, let me go see what your message is. Rabbit, I'm going through. Yeah, no, you don't have to print my guys. I already have plans on. It's gonna be a small force. I already got all the stuff that that I'm looking at from Etsy. I like getting stuff from Etsy, so it works for me. But I appreciate the offer, Rabbit. Thank you. Will they take fan submissions for heroes? I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think they already have some of their heroes. Like I said, they have. It's funny. There's a Konflikt 47 version for all you guys who are upset that what's the name of the Katachin hero? Shit. Colonel Strachan. So those of you who are upset that Colonel Strachan got like legends, you know, for Warhammer 40k, hey, cool. No worries. Konflikt 47 has their own version of Colonel Strachan. It's Captain Samuels, Sledgehammer Samuels, or Slammer Samuels. So he is basically like we have Colonel Strachan at home. So he has a badass like Tesla gauntlet, and he carries a huge ass Tesla rifle. So he's really cool. He is the best Paragon. He is the OG Paragon. And he's the best Paragon. So it's actually kind of cool. Yeah, it was Strachan. No I mean, that would be cool if they gave us that option HS, but I think you're gonna get, with the way that the Rift dice are working out, I think it's gonna be a designated hero. So it's gonna be like if you look on the Konflikt 47 webpage right now before they start changing stuff, you have Captain Samuels for the Americans. The Germans have somebody, if you look, he's like, I think it's like one of their like evil medics. Like it comes with like this model, it comes with a certain hero model or a villain model, I guess, and he has 2 armored infantry with him. It's, I don't know, Hetman something in German, I don't know if I can know. But it looks like the Germans have their villain. I'm really curious to see who the Imperial Japanese are. So here's one of my favorite things I saw. Is there are 5... Oop, there you go. There are 5 factions that they're talking about. I don't know what happened to Italy. So the 5 factions are, you have the British Commonwealth. So it looks like the British Commonwealth looks like it's going to cover a whole bunch of nations, right? You have the Axis. They call it the Axis, which is interesting because I'm pretty sure that's going to cover Finland, Turkey, and maybe northern Italy, right? You have the Americans, so that should cover Rangers, Airborne, and Marines. You have, I think they're called the Soviet Bloc, which is interesting. Not even USSR, they're calling it the Soviet Bloc. So I think it's going to have, obviously the Soviets, but it may include some other stuff. Maybe, I don't want to say the other nation, but maybe some of the other Warsaw Pact nations. Maybe they'll expand. Maybe China, who knows? And the 5th faction is the Empire of Japan. Now, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but they separated the Axis and the Empire of Japan. I'm pretty sure they're still allied. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I mean, they did have the Commonwealth and the Americans separate, so maybe that's why they have the Axis and the Japanese separate. I don't know. I could be reading way too far into it, but those are the 5 separate factions. What happened to Italy? Well, we know in the lore, northern Italy goes to the Axis, and southern Italy, the Kingdom of Italy, goes to the Allies. So I'm assuming they're going to be covered by one of the other units models, just like the French. The French are in Konflikt 47, it's just they're technically using, you just use American models, so you just use American rules, and just paint them as French models. So I'm thinking that's what you're going to look like. But apparently all 5 are going to be playable as soon as the new update comes out. And the update comes out in Q4 of this year. So at the end of this year, we should have new Konflikt 47 stuff. And they said they are 100% bringing it in line with 3rd edition of Bolt Action. Commander, I think you're going to be fine. You may just have to play them as quote-unquote Axis. That's it. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I'm thinking that might be the only thing. Bad Rabbit, I'm not sure. Like I said, so that's the biggest thing is they didn't want to answer anything about lore. But judging that they hired, what's his name? Gav Thorpe or whatever? I don't think I've read any of his Black Library books. He's no Dan Abnett. I read a lot of Dan Abnett stuff. I don't think I've read anything by Gav Thorpe. But apparently they hired a lot of old Black Library writers, so I'm assuming the lore is going to get a punch-up, I guess. So that should be interesting. I'm a little worried, but... Right, Commander? I hear you. Oh, man, especially your area. I know shipping can be rough out there, man. As far as me, like I said, no crazy Konflikt 47 models. Once I finish this Coyote, even though I'm building it as a Coyote Walker, which means it doesn't have the hand flamer, you can use it as both. I mean, I'm a WYSIWYG guy, but no one's really going to look at what's on the fist. So if you run a British unit, you can run them as a Guardian. If you run as an American, you can run them as a Coyote. And that should give me a Rift Tech unit for every army. For the Germans, I have the Panther X, I have some zombies, and I have a King Tiger X. For the British, I'll have a Guardian Light Walker. For the Americans, I have a Coyote Light Walker. For the Soviets, I have Ursus Infantry. And Sean, friend of the channel, Sean offered to paint up my Daughters of the Revolution, so that'll be pretty cool. And of course, I have shit tons of stuff for the Empire of Japan. So I have something for every faction, so I'm pretty excited about that. Right, yeah, that's the first thing I thought, Francis. I was really worried. I'm like, oh, don't let this be a Battletech Gothic, Jesus. Yes, Interceptor City is good. Interceptor City is good. I like Double Eagle better. And my favorite Gaunt's Ghost book, like strictly Gaunt's Ghost, is Guns of Tanith. I'm a huge Fantine Air Corps, Fantine Skyborn fan. Yeah, I was gonna say, I know Commander's out in the old NZ, so I'm sure his is pretty bad. All right, let me just agitate this water a little bit more, then I'll take it off and pat dry these things. Ooh, so that's tough, RK. It sounds like a weird question, but are you only limiting 40k stories to 40k, or are you including Battlefleet Gothic? Because I'm not gonna lie, obviously I'm biased, but yeah, Commander got it. Yeah, Execution Hour. What is it? Execution Hour. The Dawn. Man, I'm trying to think of Relentless, Execution Hour, Mortal Fuel, and I want to say Breaking Point are some of the Battlefleet Gothic stories. Particularly, Mortal Fuel is good if you can find it. It should be a free PDF. Mortal Fuel is a Battlefleet Gothic short story. It's about gang pressing civilians and people like that on a planet and using them as like the crew on a ship, and how they just die while working the engine and they don't care. They just throw them in there. It gives you serious like Snowpiercer vibes. Execution Hour, yes. Execution Hour is a Battlefleet Gothic novel. I think if you can find it, I don't even want to know what it costs. They're getting hard to find. But it's really good. I want to say, because I get all the stories mixed up because it's been a long time. Oh, Shadow Point. It was Shadow Point, Execution Hour. Those two are together. And then you had Relentless, and then you had Mortal Fuel. So I want to say Shadow Point and Execution Hour was Battlefleet Gothic, you know, the actual Battlefleet Gothic, going up against a Chaos Fleet. I want to say they were fighting one of the Chaos Lords who fought for Nurgle. You guys may know his name. I think it's Typhus. I think he had like a scythe or something like that. Anyways, so it's the Imperial Navy going up against Typhus and his battle group. Really good naval combat. Boarding parties in action, and boarding torpedoes and bombers, and oh god, it's so good. Yeah, I think it was Typhus they were fighting. I want to say, I think it was in, one of the coolest parts in Relentless. Oh yeah, no, none of the Battlefleet Gothic stuff is on audiobook. If I could read well and speak, I would do them for free, but obviously I'm terrible at it, so, and it costs time. I can barely do my Konflikt 47 lore, much less do like audiobooks. I want to say Relentless. So Relentless is one of the other ones. It is so good. They get attacked, but because it follows multiple ratings, like it follows like a Chief Warrant, it follows the Navigator and a bunch of other stuff. But in the Relentless, they get attacked and boarded by Dark Eldar. So you get them describing what Dark Eldar pirates look like as they're like tearing down the passageway of a Imperial Navy void ship. You know, they're flying like the little like jet things right down the P-way, like shooting out those shurikens, and they have like these barbed whips, and they're like ripping people apart and killing them. And what's so cool is you see the naval armsmen, they're sitting there with their shotguns trying to hold them at each different hatchway. Meanwhile, the crew basically gets like weapon rights, you know, stand by to repel boarders. So the whole crew just starts getting issued whatever weapons they can find. They start pulling out auto pistols that they've been hiding on them. They start passing out, you know, boarding pikes, you know, chain swords, I mean, whatever tools they can find. It basically is, it reads exactly like a Master and Commander Far Side of the World. Have you seen that movie? It reads exactly like that, but set in 40k. It is phenomenal. Oh man, I really want to see your Kit Bash Japanese dust stuff. That sounds really cool. But yeah, it's a shame those are hard to find, Bad Rabbit. I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to hype it up, but man, they are some of the best reading I've ever had. Commander can back me up. The Battlefleet Gothic novels. That's what I got into. I think I was talking to you earlier about that, Bad Rabbit, about why I'm doing 4th edition, because that's the edition I wanted to do way back in the day. When I first got into this whole shindig, I got into it, I was in high school, so I got into it with Battlefleet Gothic. Yeah, I did Battlefleet Gothic way back in high school. And I really wanted to get into Warhammer 40k so I could do like boarding parties and boarding games because I saw it on a white door somewhere. All I'm doing right now is just patting down and drying the model bits. But oh yeah, I could talk about that forever. It was so cool. When I say those books are old, I'm talking like they're not even in softback. Like they're like in those old school hardbacks you used to find like in your school library, you know? Not like a huge, nice hardback, but like it's kind of like a cheap hardback, if that makes sense. Rabbit, they're expensive. I'm talking like triple digits if you can find them. Triple digits US. So I'm pretty sure I have all of them. In my study somewhere. I'm not sure. I'll have to dig through my books and find them. I used to have them, that I do know, and I've read them, but I'm not sure if I still have them. But yeah, if they ever made a Battlefleet Gothic omnibus, that would just be amazing. But yeah, you can Google them, Bad Rabbit. They're extremely pricey, and it's a good story. It's a good book, but it ain't worth triple digits. So hard pass there. If I can find them and I finish all my other stuff, then maybe one day I'll do an audiobook of them. I'm sure Games Workshop will send the Pinkertons after me, but the books are out of print, so you know what can you do? Is it really, I mean, I'm sure it is still their IP, but if the books are out of print and you can't get an audiobook, then what can you do? But yeah, you were looking for Execution Hour, Shadow Point, Relentless, and Mortal Fuel. Mortal Fuel, you may still be able to find, because that was, I think it was like a free PDF, or it was like a $2 PDF back when Black Library just had like a whole bunch of PDFs you could download and read. So you may be able to find Mortal Fuel. And Mortal Fuel is a prequel to Relentless. So Relentless is its own story, and I'm pretty sure Mortal Fuel is a prequel to it. And then Shadow Point and Execution Hour are in the same series. It's a two-book series. I'd have to get some serious training on how to do like book reading. Like I can do these like mockumentaries, you know, for the Comic 47 world. That's one thing, but to actually like read a book, get all the inflections right, the voices. I mean, I don't have the training or skill set for that. I'd have to develop that before I attempt it, you know. Speaking of books like that, Commander, I have a lot of the older Crimson Skies books that are hard to find now too. Yeah, if you guys, that's something I learned early. Snatch up books. I started doing that around like 2012, back when they were cheap. Snatch up some books, because when they go out of print, they go out of print. So a lot of the Crimson Skies books that are really hard to find now. They're not as expensive because it's not as popular as 40k, but they're still kind of pricey. And I actually do have some older Warhammer books. I have an old Warhammer Vampire Coast Pirates of Sartosa book. It's actually really cool. She's old. The Iron Ghost, no, I haven't. I've read Dread Cargo and Dread Fleet. No, it's called Bad Cargo. I read Bad Cargo and Dread Fleet. And actually, if you guys are fans of Dan Abnett, this Bad Cargo book is actually a Dan Abnett book. Well, I apologize. It's called Fell Cargo. Let's see if we can figure out when this one was written. Yeah, back in the day, it came out for $8. So I don't even know what it is now. Okay, the book can't be that old because it does still have his Cyber Crusades and his last command for Gaunt's Ghost. Unless it's just printed after he wrote it. Alright. Here it is. Oh, I don't want to mess with the camera. 2006. So this book is almost 20 years old. Full cargo. Alright, so yeah, another real passion. Tiki reads a lot. I read a lot, so I have a lot of old books. I want my study to smell of rich mahogany. Oh god, okay. Sorry, I take my eyes off the chat, I can't catch up. Oh my god! Okay. All right, catching up. Okay, on the buses, Iron Ghost. Okay, it's not 40K related. eBay, you can get it there. Bad Cargo. Yeah, sorry, it's Fell Cargo, Commander. That was the name of the book, Fell Cargo. Ooh, RK, I really want to read that. That sounds interesting. Okay, HS. With all the lesser nations having Paragon support teams or just the 5 primaries? I think Paragons is still just going to be an American thing. I don't think the British are going to get Paragons because they have automatons. But the Russians did create the daughter, so I'm pretty sure the Russian heroes are probably going to be some types of daughters of the revolutions. You're going to have like a, I don't know, like a Wonder Woman, but for the Soviet Union, probably. Someone who's never played Bolt Action version 3 or Konflikt 47, what advice do you have for new players when to get into the new editions? Okay. Alright, Bad Rabbit, I got you. Okay, so what advice do I have if you want to get into Konflikt 47? Or if you want to get to Bolt Action. The best thing to do is to watch battle reports. So, Cinematic Tabletop, he does Konflikt 47 and Bolt Action battle tops. He also has a really good Bolt Action tutorial. Zern Central is starting to do a really good Bolt Action tutorial. But the best thing, man, is you hear people talk about it a lot. Rules may go in and out of like meta, but units don't change. Great example. I have they're a little bit far away. I'll grab them here in a minute. But I have some 1 to 48 scaled Schwimmwagons. I like Schwimmwagons. I always thought it was a cool idea. I bought those Schwimmwagons way back in 8th edition of Warhammer 40K for my Elysian drop troops. They were going to be my Tauruses, right? That's a long ass time ago, and I'm just now about to use them for my 83rd MP platoon, as you know, commandeered vehicles count as Jeeps. So the point I'm getting at is get models that you like, that you want to build, and then hopefully they'll get to be used in the game. If not, you still kind of have them. You know, don't go crazy. Don't buy anything super expensive. You know, make sure the price of the, I mean, I don't want to tell people how to spend their money, but make sure that if you do buy a model, make sure the price of the model is worth the time you're going to spend building it and painting it. So as long as it pays off for that, like I said, if a model is like $100 and I'm not looking forward to building it, I probably won't get that model. But if it's like a $10 model and I'm excited to build it and kit it out, I'm going to get my $10 worth of fun in building and painting it. If I get to field it on the tabletop, hey, that's just icing on the cake. That's bonus and I love it. But I still got to build it and paint it, and I got my money's worth. So that would be my recommendation, trying to get started into Bolt Action 3rd edition or Konflikt 47 before the new edition drops. Is just get a model, or if you do get models that look interesting to you and paint them and have fun with them and just enjoy them. And we'll see if you get to use them. But for Bolt Action, I would get one of the starter sets. It all depends on for you, Rabbit. It all depends what kind of faction you want. If you tell me what kind of faction you're interested in, I can give you better advice. But watch some bat reps. Go to your local store, see if they'll do a 500-point demo game with you, and then get the faction that you like, and just start small. That's the biggest thing, is start small. Use easy army, and aim for 500 points. A lot of people like to jump right to 1,000 points, or jump right into 1250. Go for 500 points. Build a 500-point army. That's the best way to learn the game. Konflikt 47 or Bolt Action, doesn't matter the edition. 500 points is a great place to aim for and enjoy, because you don't need much. The other channel was Zern Central. Here, I'll drop a link to his channel. He actually does good stuff. I really enjoy his stuff. But yeah, use Easy Army to build your armies. It's a free program online. You can do it for Konflikt 47 or Bolt Action. It works for either one, and allows you to start kind of kitting out what you need to build an army for Konflikt 47 or Bolt Action. Hey, what's going on, Steven? Tiki the leaker, allegedly. I didn't leak anything. I only leaked open source intelligence. So, you know, you can't Snowden me. Nice try. I wasn't even there. I feel like from the clerks, like I wasn't even supposed to work that day. That's hilarious, Commander. That's really cool to hear that. I like hearing like local cultures and custom stuff. It's actually really, really cool. That makes sense. Hey, nothing's wrong with using a notebook and a pencil. As long as you use a book too, I don't mind. I would much rather someone write it down on the notebook and a pencil than someone just like not write a list down. I see that happen all the time. It drives me insane. Nice. Well, I hope you have a good day at work, Steven. Yeah, we were just talking about Konflikt 47 allegedly leaking alleged information. But other than that, I'm about to build a Coyote Walker to kind of celebrate Konflikt 47 Day, as it were. And it happens to be the 47th episode of the channel, which is kind of cool. But then I'm probably going to start working on my MP platoon. Because I do have a game in April. April? No, May. I do have a game in May. I do have a game in May for Bolt Action. It's going to be the Fall of Berlin. And I have 1250 of MP platoon I'm taking. Alright, sorry about that. All right, let's get a building. We need doing some trimming work first off. The thing about metal minis, you do have a lot of trim work to do. Yeah, that's the best thing. It's all new plastics. I think it's gonna be huge, man. Because these metal and resin ones are expensive and they're hard to find. So I think going to plastic is gonna make it more available. And I think that was the biggest limiting factor to people joining Konflikt 47 was the price and availability of models. In my humble opinion. I'm not sure, RK. We'll see. I recently updated my MP unit. I took a look at a lot of footage in TO and E's, and I got my ass kicked in a little bit by RK at a local match, and I realized the beauty of submachine guns. So I kind of sprinkled those around my MP unit a lot. I get it, HS. Yeah, like I said, I'm not too excited about new units. I care about the lore. I'm a lore nerd, so I'm like, oh god, what are you gonna do with the lore? What's going on? I'm not gonna lie. Because I'm not the biggest fan of Bolt Action 3rd Edition. You know, I like 2nd Edition more than I like 3rd Edition, mostly because I'm an Imperial Japanese player. And we got fucking hooved. But I'm a little worried for Konflikt 47. You know, I worry what they're going to change. To me, the rules for Konflikt 47 were perfectly fine. The lore was fine. They just needed plastic models. But they're changing all the gameplay. I understand, it's not my IP. They can change what they want. I'm still excited. I just didn't think a change was needed. I just thought they needed plastic models. That was really it. Now, if you want to bring it more, if you wanted to bring the rules more in line with Bolt Action, 3rd Edition, I got it. That's fine. That made sense. But Rift Die and Heroes and I don't know. I'm not being a negative Nancy, but I'm assuming it's going to. Someone said it earlier. I'm assuming it's going to be a little more of a hero hammer. It's going to be, how do I say this? Very similar to Warhammer 40k, but in a good way, like older Warhammer 40k. But I think that's the point. I think they're trying to make Konflikt 47 a little more similar to what made Warhammer 40k. I'm talking like back in maybe 5th edition and stuff like that. That way, it's a soft landing point for people who are finally getting tired of Warhammer 40k and they come over to Bolt Action Konflikt 47. You know, going straight for Warhammer 40k to Bolt Action would be a bit of a jump. But using Konflikt 47 instead of Bolt Action is kind of like an ease point between Warhammer 40k. I think that'll be a lot more feasible. That would be my assumption, but that's just pure speculation on my part. I have no facts with that. Other than there are hero units and there are Rift Dice. It kind of almost sounds like a psychic. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. But from what I hear, it's fun, and I think that's the most important thing. Doesn't kind of matter how the rules are. What I hear is the gameplay is actually fun. So that was the cool thing I found out about older 40k is I got what I thought was the 4th edition codex for the orcs, and apparently it is, but it's also the codex for 4th edition, 5th edition, and 6th edition. I was like, oh, that's nice. You ordered had like one codex for 3 editions. Not bad. So, and yes, yeah. So I'm excited about the platoon system. So that's what I do like about 3rd edition. I like the 3rd edition part about different types of platoons. You know, whereas Bolt Action 2 always felt like the survivors, you know, ragtag group of like some infantry. Okay, they met up with a tank. Okay, they met up with an artillery gun. You know, Bolt Action 3rd edition had much more of like a force organization chart, very militaristic, like TO and E. I like that. With Konflikt 47, I'm still excited for that. Like I said, I just worry they're going to. So to be honest, I don't like the close combat rules of 3rd edition Bolt Action. Not the Mentors, I think they're absolute shit. I played a couple games now. It just feels like someone got tired of getting their shit stoved in from CQB, and so they just changed the close assault rules. Okay, so for example, for close combat, right? If you have, we'll pick the torso as one model, right? And you have the legs as another model. Alright. So you have a leg as one model and the torso as the other model, right? So if this leg is assaulting this, right? And this hasn't had an order dice yet, it can choose to stand and shoot. Okay, that's fine, cool, no big deal. And then this charges. Then once they get into close combat, you know, all bets are off. But in close combat, what I don't like is that both models swing at the same time. Even if this model charges this model, they swing at both times. If this model is down and this model charges this model, remember this model is pinned down. Pinned down. If this model assaults this model, they still swing simultaneously. I think that's the most. I don't understand that. So, the way it's been done in the past is, let's say this model has no order on it, right? And this model is going to assault it. So this model has a choice. It can either stand and shoot, which means fire all of its guns. You know, it'll fire. So this is how it says Konflikt 47. This model can fire all of its guns. Whatever survives from this unit assaults into it, and then they get to swing. And then that's the round. So the next round they fight, they will swing simultaneously. Or, if this still has no order on it, it can choose to fight back. So if this model assaults, they swing simultaneously. It used to be a choice. If you didn't have an order dice, you could either stand and shoot, which made sense, or you could swing back and fight back, right? If you were down, well, that just sucks. Sucks to suck, right? And if you're in ambush, same thing. You got to shoot. So what I don't like is in this edition, you could be. This is the part I don't understand. You could pin a unit down, have it pinned down, and if a unit assaults it, they're still swinging simultaneously. That goes against everything of modern tactics that were derived from World War II. When you talk about paratrooper small unit tactics, find, fix, flank, and finish, the whole point is a base of fire team, your base of fire, pin down enemy unit. Your assault team flanks it and then charges through the assault unit while they're pinned down, shooting and killing them as they go. The whole point is they're pinned down, they can't fight back, they're caught off guard. Having them swing simultaneously is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I'm not trying to be mean about it. It's dumb. It's always been a dumb rule. I try to test it. I try to get around it. The only way to get around it is to move your model, hopefully at least within 6 inches out. And then the unit you're going to assault with, you move it 6 inches out and you shoot. And then next turn you assault. They're still going to swing simultaneously, but there's nothing you can do, man. It's... So that on top of the nerfs they already gave the IJ absolutely screwed a lot of the gameplay, in my opinion. And I don't think I'm the only guy who thinks this. I don't know, maybe I am. I think 3rd edition close combat rules are absolutely god-awful. But I still play the game, it's still fun, I still have fun with it, but the rules make no sense. Oh god, no, I'm catching him with chats. Yeah, Tiki example time, right? Yeah, everything's a sand table. I'm gonna start moving, put stuff down and start moving. It's funny, I have models within reach when I'm using like bits instead. Yeah, like I said, and obviously I'm biased because I play in the Imperial Japanese and I assault a lot. You know, I use bonsai and I assault. I assault a lot. That makes sense. It makes sense that I feel like I'm getting screwed over here, right? But just common tactics doesn't make sense. Hey, Weird World War II, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, Weird World War II, you're not wrong. I'm already creating a, I guess it's called a pack or a packet of like rules to alter how bolt action 3rd edition works, at least for like games that I run. I'm fixing a few things that I think are wonky, like smoke and a few other things. So yeah, the close combat thing is weird. Well, not really HS. So it's part of small unit tactics. The find, fix, flank, and finish is it's called shift fire. So, all right. Actually, hold on. Let me grab some actual models for this one. All right. Yeah, Tiki Time example is good. All right. So, one of the basics of find, fix, flank, and finish, right? When talking about assaulting a pinned down unit, HS brings the point like, hey, if they're assaulting a pinned unit, they're also going to come under fire, and that would affect them. So it's not how assaulting under fire works, for those of you who don't know. He brings up a valid point, but it's built into this. So let me make sure. Okay, cool. So the way it works is, let's say this anti-tank rifle team is pinning him down. You know, this guy has an anti-tank rifle. Let's say this guy has some, just for shits and giggles, right? Let's say they have 2 rifles. So this is your base of fire team, right? These guys are pinning this unit down. So they're putting on pinning fire. When this unit goes to assault, it's called shift fire. What happens realistically is this unit actually shoots higher than the other unit and shifts the fire to the left. Because these guys are coming in from the right, they're going to shift fire up and to the left. So they're still shooting a shit ton of rounds at the enemy, but they're shooting over their heads and to the left. So you're still getting the suppression effect, you know, from the sound and the rounds whizzing over your head, but, you know, you're not gonna, you know, get, you know, green on green and shoot your guys in the back. All right, take it easy, Steven. Take it easy, Weird World War II. Hey, Brian, sorry you can't stay, brother. Hope you take care, man. Yeah, make that money, buddy. Yeah, we're trying to keep it weird. We're trying, man. Take it easy, brother. I appreciate you popping in and saying howdy, man. All right, so that's kind of how that's how, in case anyone's kind of curious, that's how assaulting a pinned unit and suppression works. It's just called shift fire. You still shoot, you shoot above the target into the opposite direction where your guys are assaulting from. But that proves that this unit's pinned down, this unit's gonna easily assault them. That's how it all works. That's how everything works. That's why I was so mystified when I had to read the rules. I even had to double check with Courier today when I was like, hold on, let me read these rules again. I was like, if I suppress a target, if I make him go down, we still swing at the same time. The only difference is if they're in a defensive position, you make them go down, they don't get to swing first. Instead, you swing simultaneously. That's the only benefit, which is also dumb. I think only units in ambush should get to swing first. That's how I'd run it. I'd say if a unit's in ambush, it can choose to either Tiki, my buddy, always change the last F. Find, fix, flank, and finish. It's always been that way. But if you're in ambush, I'd say you can either shoot or you can swing first. It'd be your choice, right? If you have no order dice, you can choose to shoot or not and swing simultaneously. That'd be the benefit of going to ambush. But I don't like this whole, hey, you're behind cover, so you get to swing first. I had that actually work for me. Me and RK were playing. RK assaulted one of my units in cover, and I got to swing first, and it was just absolutely nasty and disgusting. Even though it benefited me, I still didn't think it was a very good rule. Yeah, right, Matthew? Yeah, it never goes away. So it may... it may shock you, Matthew, I think I've talked about it, but yeah, that was one of my last duties. I was a training instructor for pre-deployment centers, so... I go into, like, teaching mode, you know? Yes, I was going with a much more cosmopolitan version, Bad Rabbit. But yeah, that's my big thing, man. I don't like the assault rules. But that's fine. So the reason why I mentioned that is Konflikt 47 has very complex but very lethal close combat rules. Like Tough Fighter doesn't allow you to reroll missed hits. I don't really like that either. Tough Fighter lets you swing twice, whereas Tooth and Claw lets you swing 3 times. So I don't know. We're gonna see how they're gonna justify some of the monster units like the Shrek Wolfen, the Nacht Jaegers, the Ursus Infantry. But the best thing is this: books are books, right? They can never take away Konflikt 47 from us. You know, if we don't like the newer version, we can always play the old version. But I have high hopes for the new version. Truly. Meow, listen here, Commander. Yep, just like Super Troopers. Oh, yeah. So all I'm doing is just kind of trimming down the metal on the leg. Let me see what other kind of Konflikt 47 news I have for you guys. I think that's really it. Let's see what else I can dig up. Okay, we know that they are going to steer clear of actual historical figures for the heroes. All the heroes are going to be made up. No real world heroes are going to be used, or villains. The game still has the bones of Bolt Action 3rd Edition. It just has the new dice mechanic known as Rift Dice. And from the picture I have that I've been told I'm not allowed to share, after I've already shared it once, I see a Pershing, I see a shit ton of Firefly infantry, I see some heavy German infantry, and I see a new Walker we haven't seen before. So it looks like it has jump capability on the back, so I'm thinking like a puddle jumper, but it has like a small Tesla cannon on top. So there's that. And that's all the Konflikt 47 information I have, other than what's shared in the email that you guys officially have. And I've also posted the official intel on my YouTube page, so you guys are able to see that post. Maybe arcade. That sounds so getting 2 swings and getting to re-roll sounds way better than 3 swings. I mean, I'm not a math hammer guy, you know, but damn. 2 swings and re-rolls? Shit, that's powerful. Kind of, yeah. RK, I think you've seen the picture I'm talking about, too. Yeah, that's right, RK, you have access to it, too. Yeah, you've seen it. It might be a mud skipper. But it's weird to see a mud skipper. The reason why I didn't think it was a mud skipper, RK, is because it's right next to a Pershing and right next to Firefly Jump Infantry. So, Pershing is a heavy tank that's Army, you know, Army armor. Firefly Infantry, sure, that's paratroopers, that's fine, it's also Army. But the mud skipper's Marine Corps, so that's kind of weird to see this all together. But that's the other thing to remember, guys. This is also obviously late war, so you get all your late war goodies too. So you get your Pershing tanks, you get your Calliopes, you get your late war light tanks, your Chaffies. You get like Chaffies as much as you want, you know. There's plenty of Mouse, King Tigers, not just the Weird War stuff, but you're getting all sorts of stuff. I think I am thinking of Pond Skate. Oh no, Mud Skipper's Marine Corps too. I think all. Oh no, you're right. Mud Skipper, I think it's the airborne version. Yeah, you're right. Is Pond Skater the only Marine Corps one? I thought the Mud Jumper was also Marine Corps. I'll have to take a look. But you're right. I think it may just be airborne, medium airborne one. Yeah. Yeah. Did you know the German Locust is actually an airborne walker? I didn't know it was a jump walker. I say airborne, jump walker. I didn't know the German Locust was a jump walker. The Japanese Locust, they actually took out the jump rule. Kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Yep, the Mud Skipper and the German Locust are jump walkers. So obviously the Mud Skipper uses you know, jets or jetpack like the Fireflies, whereas the Locust uses the gravity tech that the Falcons, the German jump troops, use. Yeah, I'm still just working on trying to thin this guy down, get him nice and flush. I know, right? You think I should know all these things? I'll get all the videos out eventually. So my goal is to finish the lore videos for the 3 main theaters. Then put out the rest of the shorts for the Rift Tech models that come in the Start Collecting boxes. Then go back and start hitting all the other parts of the lore, you know, for like Finland and some of their smaller ones, Norway, and then put out all the rest of the units. Hey man, glad you could make a stream, buddy. Hope you have a great night. Yeah, we're just chatting about Konflikt 47, a little bit about Bolt Action 3rd Edition. Oh, those Merlins are gnarly, man. We're working on a Coyote / Guardian Light Walker. Right now I'm just kind of trimming down the metal legs. Soon you won't see these. Soon these will all be plastic, so it's kind of fun to build a metal and resin kit while they're still around, you know? Soon it'll be like those old metal guardsmen you have, like those Destroying Firstborn, Tolaran Desert Raiders. They still have in metal, you know? To me, that was the most important update for Konflikt 47, because I thought that's the one thing they're definitely missing, more than rules or lore or anything else, was the plastic range. Knowing that all the models are going to be plastic now, that was huge. Alright, there's one leg done. I think that was the worst leg too, so. Oh yeah, the leg was a lot better. Yeah, it has me wanting to like pull the trigger and finish all my lore videos. But yeah, so I'm building this this Guardian / Coyote Light Walker. That way I can kind of run it as both. So my whole point is to have Rift Tech units, Konflikt 47 units for all different factions. So I can go to people who play Bolt Action and be like, hey, you want to do a Konflikt 47 demo game? Bring me, you know, 500 points of your, or 500 or 750 points of your Bolt Action army, and we'll slap in some Weird War tech to finish that last 250 points, and boom, we got a 1,000 point Konflikt 47 army, you know? RK, I see what you're saying. Unless you're talking about heavy infantry, take a look at the heavy, I think it's called a heavy sniper team, or like heavy rifle team, or I don't know. It's one of the favorite units of the Germans I like. I think it's called a heavy, yeah, I think it's called a heavy sniper team. It should be in either Vengeance or Retribution, I think, or, I'm sorry, I'm getting the titles of the books mixed up. Should either be in the second or the third book. But it's a German, anti-tank rifle team. So they have an anti-tank rifle, and the other guy has a submachine gun, and then they can also take a Panzer Faust. So you can literally have one dude with a, oh no, I don't think he does a sniper. Oh no, he has an anti-tank rifle. So yeah, one guy has an anti-tank rifle, one guy has a submachine gun, and they can also take a Panzer Faust. It's a great little two-man unit. Yes. Yeah, let me drop that in there. Alright, so there's the link. Yeah, the first one's to the lore for like the early years of the Eastern Europe campaign, and the second link is to a list of all the shorts I've done. And I haven't separated the Russian ones out yet. I've separated the Germans and the Americans. I haven't separated the Russians out yet. I need to. But there's a whole bunch of Russian units in there. For the Russians, I've covered the Cossack Light Walker. I've covered the Daughters of the Revolution. And I've covered their heavy infantry. Actually, I'm about to cover their Sonic T-34 tank coming up here soon, the CP-34. So the whole point I'm trying to do is I'm trying to cover all the Rift Tech units that come in the start collecting boxes first. Then I'll go back and hit all the other units. That's also why I've seen so many German tanks have been done. Oh, hey, Sean, what's going on? I think the leopard camo is going to look awesome, buddy. I was just talking about sending my daughters off to you. So these Guardians and Coyotes are pretty easy to build. So if you just put a mini machine gun on one arm, that gives you a Coyote. If you put an infantry flamer on the other arm, that's going to give you the British Guardian. So yeah, this is the 50 cal. 50 cal is kind of it's mounted on the outside of the Walker. But yeah, I shared all the information I had about Konflikt 47. Try to share it early on in the video. That way, if anyone misses it, you know, they don't have to listen to too much random dialogue to kind of get to it. But you know, you have the information that was leaked from the email, and I'll read that off probably here in a little bit. Once I finish this Walker, I'll probably read off verbatim what the email says. You know, that way you guys don't have to read it if you don't want to. And then I told you guys what my buddy on the ground relayed on his example. He Newt was actually the first person, according to him, first person to demo it that morning, aka this morning, or I guess yesterday morning. All right. So there's our 50 cal. Make sure you leave the ammo can and the tray that holds it separate, you know. Interesting, HS. Interesting. No. So for pinning this one, I think I'm because I am making a British airborne unit, a mix of airborne and navy unit. It's gonna be based off the real world 1st Caribbean Regiment, but obviously a little bit more fantastical for Konflikt 47. So I'm probably gonna paint it in a kind of like a tropical camouflage. So what I'm probably gonna do is I'm probably gonna do a light green with dark green like leaves and grass print, if that makes sense. So if not, I'll never get at describing it. I'll show you what I mean once I get the whole thing painted. Yeah, I picked up a British airborne box. Back to your question, Bad Rabbit. If you're not sure what army to start with and you're not sure what to do, there is the British airborne starter box for, I think it's like 60 or 70 bucks American, and you get like 1,000 points worth of airborne guys. No armored vehicles. You can add tanks or walkers as you go, so it's perfect for Konflikt 47 or bolt action. It's generally my recommended way to go if you're looking for an army to start with. You already have the rules. Oh yeah, I remember those things almost gave me nightmares back in the day. They were so weird with those big ass glasses. I remember those old raisins. All right, so we've trimmed the legs. It's kind of like a turkey. We trimmed the legs. Let's take a look at the torso. Torso looks pretty good. Some minor stuff to work on, I think. The rest of the torso came out damn near perfect. I've had some rough ones. This one came out really well. All I'm doing is just neaten up some little bits. I know it's kind of hard to see because I have like the bright light on, but helps these old eyes see a lot better, you know? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the Grenadiers, I think, have, I think they have assault rifles, if not grenade launchers. Alright, they're ready to start assembling. I mean, Commander, that's what I'm doing. I sometimes I shoot in my boxers. It is what it is, man. It gets hot in Florida. I know what you want. Alright, so as you can tell, you have 2 leg holes, 2 arm holes, and you have 2 spots up top. So you can tell the inside is the ball, the outside is kind of like a more rigid point, so you want to put the ball kind of in the ball socket. So to learn my lesson from building the Locust bipedal mech, you want to make sure that it can actually stand on its own, you know, so you don't have to use a base. Otherwise you could do the whole tactical rock like I had to do. If you guys didn't see, I did put, so I finished all my Val, thanks to you guys in the stream. You know, so I posted a picture of that, but then I posted a picture of my actual Japanese locust walker. Decided to call it the Goo Goo Muck, and actually to bounce him against a rock. No. So none of the Russian tanks that I'm aware of, and I could get it wrong. I don't know everything about the lore. It's been a while since I've gone back and read the books. But as far as I'm aware of, none of the Russian tanks have a rail cannon. There are some heavy Russian walkers that have some serious firepower, but the rail cannon technology, that's mostly with the Germans. So for a light rail cannon, you need a Panther X. For a heavy rail cannon, you need either a Tiger X or a Zeus heavy Panzer mech. At least I think I'm right. Yeah, Zeus is the heavy rail cannon, I want to say, and Thor is the big ass, like, fuck off artillery. So with the Guardian and Coyote Light Walker, what this reminds me of, I'm not sure if you guys have seen the movie. I think the movie's good. Some people don't like the movie, but the action scenes are absolutely amazing, and the actresses actually trained really hard for it. I've seen the behind the scenes; it's actually really cool. But if you've ever seen Sucker Punch, in one of the dream sequences when they go back to that alternate history World War I, and then they fight the steam-powered German zombies. The walker that Amber, I think is her name, the one that she has to pilot, actually looks a lot like the Coyote and the Guardian. That's why I used footage of that movie in the short. Yeah, it stands. Yes. Yeah, Matthew, they really are. I don't even have one. Yeah. That's why, one of the reasons why I'm glad that the Imperial Japanese don't have one yet. I'm like, oh, I don't need a heavy one. What's the Elder Talon Custodes option? Bad Rabbit, I think I need you to rephrase it. I'm not quite sure what you mean. If you're asking, like, which faction equates to which nation, I may be able to help, but I can really only help you from, like, a lore and a gameplay style. I'm not a competitive guy, so as far as, like, power or meta, I won't know. And I've never played Custodes. I left before Custodes became a faction, thank God. So I really don't know anything about Custodes. Yeah, Rubicon walkers, wouldn't that be great? You see it now, air-fixed zombies too, you know? Honestly, in my opinion, with Konflikt 47, everyone is OP. Like, everyone is insane. So, pick one. A great example. So, nothing is as bad as the Cryocopter from Red Alert 3, but everything else is just like Red Alert 3. All three all three main factions. I guess you could call it four. The Americans, the Commonwealth, USSR, and the Imperial Japanese, they're all batshit crazy for models. So, have fun, man. Oh, you went with the Flame Spina. The Spina, for you guys know, can either take a light autocannon and machine gun, I want to say. No, I think it's a light AT gun and autocannon, open topped, or it can be a closed top and take a infantry flamethrowers. Matthew, is it an infantry flamethrower or a vehicle flamethrower? I think it's an infantry flamethrower. That flame speed is going to be gnarly. And if they're going to replicate the 3rd edition bolt action rules, flame is one of the few reliable ways to get people out of cover too, so that'll be great. But honestly, Bad Rabbit, that's why mostly I would go. So for Konflikt 47, not just aesthetics, but go with what technology sounds fun, if that makes sense. So kind of approach it like you would like Dune or like StarCraft. You know, find out what tech is cooler to you. Like, yeah, Star Trek's a great example. Like, do you like close combat and more, or if you like more organic and horror kind of stuff, then maybe German. You know, if you like high technology, you know, high expensive technology or like very weird kind of technology, go Imperial Japan. If you want just like a down-to-earth, you know, nitty-gritty technology, you can go with either the Allies or the British. So, if you played StarCraft, if you like the Terrans, I'd go American or Commonwealth. If you like the Zerg, I'd go German. And if you like the Protoss, I would go Imperial Japanese. Or, if you want a little bit of everything, go Soviet. Soviets stole tech from everybody, so the Soviets have like everything. It's not as good. All their units are kind of more wishy-washy. They're not as specialized or as powerful as the other factions, but they also don't have to choose. They can take everything because they've stolen everything. Like, let's say you want to, like you said, you wanted American werewolves, not in the game. Let's say you want to run American paragons like super soldiers, but you also want to run, you know, like half human, half beast. Well, you have the Soviets. They can run their Daughters of the Revolution, which are like watered down Captain Americas. And then they also have their Ursus infantry, which are more badass version of Shrek-Wolfen. So it's kind of like give and take, you know? Here's an example of the Ursus infantry. So this would be the Soviets, quote unquote, werebears, or the Ursus infantry. Yeah, talk about tooth and claw rule. Those things will rip you to shreds. Look, it's actually almost basically the size of a Coyote Light Walker. So yeah, the Soviets for their tanks, they do have sonic tanks, which are absolutely awesome. And that comes in their start collecting box. Like I said, that's always the two things I recommend. If you're looking to spend start collecting box money, and only you know if that's a good idea, I don't like getting involved in people's finances. The two kits that are absolutely worth it, it would be the British, the Commonwealth, or the Soviets. The Germans aren't, so the only reason why I said the Germans aren't that worth it, you get some troops, which is great. You get a Panzer IV-X, which is awesome. You get a Spine, which is legit, right? The only downside is they give you a couple zombies, which those are good. Don't get me wrong, zombies are cool. But with the ability to get the Wargame Atlantic zombies box for like 20-30 bucks, that box now loses its value, if that makes sense. You know, you're just like, it's harder to kind of justify that, you know? So, the American box just is, it's alright. It's not bad. The American box will get you by. But as far as value, I would say Soviets or British. The British, you get a Tesla Cromwell, you get a Guardian Light Walker, this guy, and you get a whole bunch of troops and some Alfreds, which are their automatons. Oh, hold on. I dropped the piece. Alright, lesson learned. Don't try and glue and hold something and read the chat at the same time. I've done this before, I promise. So Bad Rabbit. If I was in your position, because the British Commonwealth starter box is actually pretty good, and you get a rule book. But they're coming out with a new rule book in a couple months, right? So you're like, eh. What I would recommend actually, you know what? I got you, Bad Rabbit. You could have a 1,000-point bolt action army. I wouldn't say not for cheap, but for easy. I built this out before in easy army. What I would recommend is get the British Airborne Starter Army. That should cost you roughly about 65 to 75 US dollars. And then get a Grizzly medium walker. The Grizzly is like the Sherman of Allied walkers. It can be taken by the Americans. It can be taken by the British. It can be taken by also the Commonwealth. The Grizzly it's great. It basically has everything your Sherman has, except because it's a walker. So the thing about walkers is they have armor all around. They don't have weak spots because it's a walker. They're meant for urban combat. Most of them, anyway. The light medium ones are. So they have armor value all the way around. There is no ass armor or weak top armor. It's the same armor every way around. The Grizzly has 2 fists. It has, like a medium anti-tank gun. It's got the 50 cal. It's basically it's a vertical tank. That's why I can call them vertical. It's a VT, a vertical tank. So yeah, that's what I'd say is I would pick up the British Airborne army and then pick up whatever, Rift Tech allied tank that you like that the British can take. Either a Tesla Cromwell, a Grizzly, or there's the Bruin. The Bruin is super sexy. It's a Grizzly, but you swap out the AT gun for like, I don't know, something stupid. I think it's like an auto cannon, like 3 heavy machine guns. It's something crazy. There's also, oh no, that's the Hornet. There's also, the Bruin has like rocket launcher arms. Dude, there's all sorts of cool variants out there. But to get you started, to models that won't go out of date, that'll always do you well, that's an easy way to not go wrong, Bad Rabbit, because with that 60, or with that British Airborne box, you can also play bolt action. The British Airborne box is 100% version 3 bolt action legal. So a lot of the other starter boxes for bolt action, they come with 1 tank. In version 3 of bolt action, you can't just take 1 tank. You have to take an armor platoon, which has 2 vehicles, right? So you kind of get hosed. The British Airborne thing, not a big deal. You do have 1 AT gun, and you can't take just 1 AT gun, you have to take 2, so you kind of get screwed there a little bit, but it's better than getting screwed out of a tank, in my opinion. So yeah, if you don't want to do a Konflikt 47 starter box, because what's the point of getting a rule book when you're just going to get, new rules, and you want something that's, the most transferable, if you want to get the most bang for your buck and get something that you can play both bolt action and Konflikt 47 with, if you don't mind the British, that would be, oh yeah, no, you're right, yeah, you only need 1 gun for an artillery platform, so yeah, that British Airborne box is absolutely a great way to go. So yeah, that would be my recommendation. If you want to play both bolt action and Konflikt 47, and you don't mind being British, that would be it. Who wouldn't, Commander? Alright, working on gluing our arms. We're gonna get this Light Walker built. And the other cool thing, about the British Airborne box is it does come with the berets where you can actually make them Polish Airborne if you want. If you've ever seen A Bridge Too Far, or if you happen to be a historical fan of Operation Market Garden, you can also make the British Airborne starter box as Polish Airborne, which is pretty cool. But yeah, you can take the full 1,000 point that they tell you on the side of the box into Konflikt 47, and then just add a Grizzly medium Walker for like 250 points. I think it's actually as a veteran, and then boom, you have a 1250 point Konflikt 47 army ready to go. That'll actually do really well too. Like infantry supported by a Grizzly will absolutely smurf some shit up. No doubt. I'm gonna put the 30 cal, the medium machine gun, on the right arm. I figured that would be most intuitive for a American or British Commonwealth operators to have a right-handed quote-unquote weapon system, kind of like you're drawing and shooting with the right hand. Not that everyone's right-handed, but at that time, majority of people likely would be. Yeah, that's another great way of being economical about it. You're exactly right, Meaner. Or Minier, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, I apologize. Yeah, he's exactly right. As far as value, yeah, you're not going to beat the Soviet Konflikt 47 starter box. The value on that thing is, I don't know how they're making money. It is insane. I feel like it's like one scroll away from the accountant seeing it and yanking it down off the website. Or my preferred thing is getting the Imperial Japanese Start Collecting box, and then order a Type 92 tankette from Etsy for like 15 bucks. And then you have a bolt-action legal army with all the infantry, plus a Type 97 Chiha and a Type 92 tankette. Manir, okay. Manir. All right, thank you. Hey, thank you for the correction. I'll try and remember that in the future. You may have to correct me in the future. I apologize. Hey, Squid, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Jasper. All right, I'll stick with Jasper. Jasper's a little bit easier. Makes me feel better. My real last name is brutally difficult to say, so I'm used to people mispronouncing it, so I never take it personally. So hopefully others feel the same way. We are building a Coyote Light Walker squid to celebrate kind of Konflikt 47, and ironically enough, happens to be the 47th episode of Too Late Tonight. I couldn't have timed that better if I tried. You know, you say Dutch is a weird language, but have you like really looked at English? And by English, I mean not the Kings, but like American style English. Very bizarre. Like American style English language. And again, I'm a English native speaker. I don't speak any other languages, allegedly. But the English American language is kind of like playing Monopoly with like a 4-year-old who keeps making up rules, you know? Oh, nice. By recon, you mean bolt action or 40k, Squid? Yeah, definitely wait, Jasper, because they're gonna replace the Soviet infantry with what I'm hearing is an easier to construct model. Apparently, the Soviets are hard to build. Like you gotta put like the guns in their hands or some weird shit like that. 3 languages, putting it mildly. It's a whole bunch of languages, but yeah, essentially. Hey, what's going on, Nathan? Ooh, nice, Squidfizz. That sounds cool. No, Nathan, you're not looking at an MEC. This is a a Coyote Light Walker. You actually have me about to install XCOM Enemy Within. I don't think I ever played Enemy Within, Nathan. I played Enemy Unknown, and I played 2, and I played 2 with mod, thanks to you. But I don't think I ever played Enemy Within. Nathan put out a really good video. If you're an XCOM fan, if you've ever done the Chrysalid level, you know what I'm talking about. He put out a really good video about that. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Only some of the XCOM. You still haven't played Bureau XCOM Declassified. It's not a bad game. It's just not a good XCOM game. All it is. So actually, I will say this: Bureau XCOM. Nathan, if you don't play it, at least watch the YouTube video on the storyline. The storyline of Bureau XCOM Declassified. The story is actually really good, surprisingly. It's if you like X-Files, you'll like it. It's just an X-Files story. It's actually really good. The gameplay, though, if you like the combat of Mass Effect 1 and 2, then you'll like the Bureau. That's all it is. It literally is just Mass Effect combat. Yeah, the first time you drop into that, I'm like, oh, cool. I was like, oh, what a nice fishing village. When it hit me, Nathan, it felt like I was back as a kid playing Resident Evil 2 on my N64. So, beating around the bush, for those of you who don't know, spoiler alert for like, what, a 20-year, 30-year-old game? So, XCOM Enemy Unknown, you get sent to this level. It sounds like an easy level, but there's just chrysalids everywhere and zombies everywhere, and it's an basically it's a trap. You get sent in, and shit just goes south quickly, right? So to me, it felt like a mix between Silent Hill, yeah, as far as like the vibes of like the Dead City, but as far as like not knowing what you're getting into, I felt like I was a kid playing Resident Evil 2 on my N64 because I had a picture of a cop on the front of it, so I thought it'd be cool. It's like, oh, it's like a police game. Yeah, it was not. I mean, technically, I guess it kind of was. But yeah. Yeah, Jasper, I'm the same way. That's why somebody convinced me to go back to Warhammer 40k Old Hammer and play some 4th edition orcs. Because they're like, hey, you know, you're not that good of a painter. I was like, that's true. Like, but you like kit bashing. I was like, that's also true. Like, you like post-apocalypse stuff like Fallout. I was like, yes. I love Mad Max and I play Gaslands. They're like, you would be a great orc player. And I'm like, huh, let me take a look at it. I'm like, you know what? I do like orcs. And then I took a look at Etsy and I found the coolest orc model ever. And I immediately ordered it for, I think with shipping, it was like $12. But some people have seen it. It's literally like Tiki the Hut if it was an orc. Like, he has a Tiki mask and everything. It's a weird boy. It is super awesome. Yeah, that little orc shaman was like the best impulse buy I've ever done, hands down. Well, to be fair, they didn't say I suck at painting. They said I'm not very good at it, and they're not wrong. I've never said I was a skilled painter. That's why all my pictures are zoomed out. You know, everything looks like table ready from like 3 feet away, and I'm okay with that. I have no desire to improve my painting talent. I just like building and painting models. I respect people who paint well. I think it's a craft, and I think they're amazing. It just ain't me, Chief. But I do like kit bashing a lot. Yeah, no, Jasper, you're not wrong. No. I used to play way back in the day, like 7th. All right, and look at that. We're getting close to the end of the stream. I know these 2-hour streams go fast. I was thinking about increasing it, but like I said, I'm about to hit my busy season. I do teach a class during the spring and the summer, so I actually lose a lot of time. So I'm probably going to keep it these small little 2-hour streams. So unfortunately, we are coming towards the end of the stream, but we did fully build a Light Walker. But you're right, it does just look like a killer egg, you know? Someone said Humpty Dumpty, and I think they nailed it. So when you get the leg spaced just right, it'll actually stand up on its own. This is the Coyote, so it has the mini machine gun on one arm. You can make it a Guardian by putting the infantry flamethrower in the other arm. It has the heavy machine gun, the little floodlight, and it has 2 fists it can fight with. Pretty awesome models. As you can tell, super easy to build. I built it in like 2 hours just by BSing the whole time. So super easy. Tomorrow's stream we'll actually start painting that guy. I think I have some ideas on how I want to paint him. But if there's time, hopefully we'll finally get to start on my MPs. I'm very excited to start building my military police platoon for bolt action. This is my first ever actual historical take, and I can't tell you the absolute nerd rabbit holes I tumbled down to make sure I get like this platoon just right. Arcane Irishman helped me the whole time too. Squid, hey, good luck tomorrow, man. I hope your recon unit absolutely smashes, taking all infantry. You're an absolute badass, man. I hope you do well. Hey, no worries. Sorry, I was getting stuff done. No worries, Nathan. We mostly just talked about the Konflikt 47 information that dropped earlier today. I went ahead and recapped it for everyone. So the official information is actually it's on their Community Warlords page. If you're subscribed to it, they emailed it out to you. I have it in one of my posts on YouTube, verbatim, everything Warlord Game said. And then earlier in the stream, I read off all the kind of like insider information, not insider, but on the ground information I got from someone who played the first demo game. So that was pretty awesome. But yeah, we gotta talk about Konflikt 47, kind of what to expect. I groaned and I mumbled a little bit about Bolt Action 3 Close Combat. I'm sorry, I am but human. You know, I'm only human, but I'm working on that. I want to get metal legs. It's a risky surgery, but you know, I think it'll be worth it. If there's any Grandma's Boy fans out there. But it's great to see all you guys. 15 people in the chat. You guys are awesome. Tomorrow we're gonna pick up where we left off, and we're actually gonna get this guy painted. We're gonna paint him in kind of a neutral paint that'll work for both the Americans and the Commonwealth. I'm catching all the tweets. Make sure I'm not missing anything. But ultimately, if you guys are headed off to sleep, I hope you get the good sleep that you deserve, especially if you have a tournament tomorrow and you're running a whole recon unit. I know you're definitely going to need your sleep. If you guys are headed to work, I think Steven was headed to work. You know, I hope it's a good one. I hope you have a chill day at work. I hope the vending machine doesn't eat your dollar or your euro or whatever weird little funny monarchy money you have. And ultimately, I hope you guys stay safe, stay hydrated, and don't forget to relax today. You're on Tiki time.
Shipwreck soldiers on wooden sand, type of rifles in hand, hula gals with summer smiles, no war drums, just beach for miles. Ghost park by Tiki lights, shadows dance in tropic nights, sand beneath where boots once stood, paradise ain't so misunderstood. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons, forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands. Bunkers built from palm and hope, coconuts and crude soap, imperial dreams, fade and sun, warriors turn beach bums. Shine to ocean gods we raise, praying for forgotten days, sake in the campfire glow, life's a surfboard ebb and flow. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons, forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired hands. Lost in waves and hula tunes, tiki drinks and months of moons, forgot the fight in distant lands, just surf and play with tired